everyone, and welcome to another Alexandra Mayers live show. That's right. It is I, your favorite woman, Alexandra, live on stage, virtual stage. But look at how timely this is, considering everything that's going on, right? You know, people used to make fun of me, being like, oh, Alexandra, she doesn't leave her house very much. She's not very social. Not social. No. Alexandra, she will not even perform in public. No, she's just at home in front of her green screen. Yeah. Who was ahead of their time, huh? Who was ahead of their time? Me. That's right. Social distancing in the era of the coronavirus. It's almost like I saw it coming, right? Yeah. But I'll tell you who didn't see this coming. The pornographers. And ooh, they're having a hard time. Boy, are they having a hard time. I swear, it's like I almost wish that Shelley Lubin could see this. I think she's having a blast on the other side, but in all seriousness, this is what she was waiting for when it comes to the adult entertainment industry. But yeah, let's talk about these pornographers. You know, they're some of them are complaining about the industry shutting down. There was one in particular who was saying, coronavirus, what? It doesn't matter if someone tests positive for it. It's not an STD. Keep the industry open. It's not an STD. If you can figure out how to have sex and not touch the other person, then I will buy that the coronavirus is not an STD. Okay? Of course it's an STD. Of course it is. But what a lot of people don't realize when it comes to the pornographers, like this one over here, is that the porn industry is not just their industry. They're not worried about losing money. Don't let them trick you like that. No. They're worried about losing their social life and therefore losing their minds. Because the truth is, most of them are already if it weren't for the porn industry, they'd be wearing white jackets strapped up in a mental institution, okay? But the porn stars, that's who I'm worried about, because it's the pornographers who are going to try to lure them out of their self-isolation. It's the truth. I mean, you got that Free Speech Coalition, Michelle, she's trying to stop it. She's specifically tweeting, don't leave your house, because she knows that it's the pornographers who are going to try to get the porn stars to violate the social distancing mandates and the mandated curfews in cities like LA, Las Vegas, whatnot, all right? Let's actually go over some tweets from one of many people's favorite pornographers, a dude known as Mike Quasar. Yeah, Mike Quasar. I actually would not have even started following Mike Quasar's Twitter if it were not for one of my favorite social media influencers, Bobby Dillon. But, you know, he's kind of like a game show. It's kind of like a gambling show, you know, logging onto his Twitter, because you don't know if he's going to be there or not, because he's just about one drink away from drinking himself to death. Actually, somebody definitely needs to go ahead and put together an AA group specifically for the pornographers and the studio owners and whatnot. Maybe some sort of a PA group. That's what it would be. Porn Stars Anonymous, because they're the ones who are addicted to the porn stars, in truth. But yeah, let's take a look at some of his tweets. Because looking at this man's Twitter, it's very interesting, especially if you go back to around March 1st, and you look at the progression of him slowly but surely realizing what's what with this coronavirus. Because he was one of those people who, it seemed, thought it was some sort of a mystical, magical conspiracy, like it wasn't real. Yeah, shit got real quick, didn't it? Yeah, I guess I could kind of subhead this little segment of the show, Quasar versus the coronavirus. March 1st, 2020. Flights are really cheap right now. 3 cheers for the media-driven paranoia of a virus that has only killed 1 person in the United States. It's possible it will eventually kill 50,000, but that will be way less than the flu and car accidents and drowning and... Yeah, he's so clever, isn't he? So clever. March 7th, 2020. Shout out to the thousands of insane people hoarding bottled water at Costco. The CDC says you should avoid crowds. Congratulations, you will now be the most hydrated coronavirus victims in America. Let's skip ahead again. I am presently offering this coronavirus survival kit at a starting bid of $1,500, a small price to pay to be prepared for a disease that has infected 550 people in a country of 350 million. March 12th, 2020. I was encouraged to hear that the coronavirus is not very dangerous to young, healthy people until I remembered that I am no longer young nor healthy. Starting to settle in there a little bit. He's looking in the mirror. Doesn't like what he sees. March 13th, 2020. I'd like to add that I fully respect anyone's decision not to shoot or change their mind about shooting in the coming weeks. However, if it's decided by those who employ me to take a break, I will obviously respect that as well. Interesting how, of his own volition, of his own free will, he didn't think to himself, coronavirus transmitted from person-to-person contact. What do I do for a living again? I'm a pornographer. But, that social life, I didn't want to give that up just yet. Having too much fun singing his songs with his piano-playing friends on set. Thank God, amidst all this absurd panic buying, there is still plenty of wine and whiskey on the shelves. And there it is, drinking himself into delusion. That was still March 13th. But apparently the evening of March 13th, he didn't drink enough because reality was still setting in on March 14th as he's starting to realize that the porn stars just may be leaving his life. If the industry shuts down, the world may finally see my genitals. I figure just for the curiosity and shock value alone, I can probably cover my mortgage for a month. Of course, I'll never be able to look anyone in the eye ever again, but at least I'll have shelter. Hashtag just kidding. Really, just kidding. Isn't it interesting how a pornographer feels that he might have an issue looking someone in the eye for doing what he makes a living off filming other people doing? Yeah. But let's skip ahead. March 19th. He's starting to get scared. This will officially go down as the first apocalypse where you can still order DoorDash and have weed delivered. So drinking wasn't enough. He had to get high too. I'm telling you, someone's gonna have to put together some sort of a AA group for these pornographers, because this is hitting them harder than anybody else. 6 days ago, he tweets, "I take back every horrible thing I've ever said about my job. Oh, what I wouldn't give to be back on a set, telling a 27-year-old playing an 18-year-old to say, quote, 'But you're my stepfather.'" With more conviction. P.S. I will delete this tweet once we're actually back to work. See, he still thinks that he's going back to work. Isn't that cute? My marijuana was delivered last night. Bev Mode delivered today. I've got a freezer stocked with lean cuisine, and I'm wearing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer pajamas while drunk and high. I always pictured myself being in a slightly more heroic scenario when the world ended. Oh well. Oh, this is just the beginning, Quasar. It's just the beginning. 4 days ago. This downtime has been productive. I finished writing my memoir, learned how to speak Cantonese, and I've lost 12 pounds. Truthfully, I've just been drunk while obsessively watching the news, with brief interruptions to take my temperature and refill my glass. Apocalypse fail. Then someone asked him about his memoir, and he responded, Chapter 1, being born was perhaps the worst decision among many other poor choices. I think he could. I think he could have a future in comedy if he could just stop drinking and getting high. I wonder how old he is. I think he's got to be pushing what, 55, 60. Word to the wise. It's in your best interest to make your Twitters private, pornographers, because you never know if I'm watching.